The final episode of the Rehearsal Season 2 is one of the most shocking, emotional, and strangely beautiful things ever aired on TV. Nathan Fielder takes everything the show has built up, the oddball humor, the bizarre social experiments, the obsession with control, and somehow transforms it into a jaw-dropping, real-life flight piloted by none other than Fielder himself. Yes, Nathan Fielder, the same guy who once faked an entire Starbucks to pull off a marketing stunt, actually becomes a licensed pilot and flies a 737 filled with 150 actors. This might sound like a joke, but it's very real, very risky, and deeply meaningful. Throughout Season 2, The Rehearsal has seemed like a chaotic mix of wild side plots, a fake Canadian Idol, a dog clone that needs special air from San Jose, and even a gag about a Nazi-run German Paramount Plus office. But all these ridiculous elements are more than just laughs. They're part of a much deeper story about communication, control, and the ways people deal with fear and failure. Beneath all the weird props and stunts is a real message, that with enough rehearsal, anything can be possible. Fielder proves this in the most dramatic way possible by learning to fly a commercial airliner just to prove a point. When Nathan said earlier in the season, "If you rehearse long enough and hard enough, nothing will be left to chance," it sounded like just another one of his ironic jokes. After all, the show is built around fake sets, hired actors, and over-the-top scenarios. But the Season 2 finale flips that on its head. Suddenly, those words don't feel sarcastic anymore, they feel honest. Fielder truly believed in his mission, and even though his methods are extreme, his message is sincere. In the final episode titled, "My Controls," we see how he takes on a nearly impossible goal just to demonstrate how hard it can be to speak up in a high-stakes environment like an airplane cockpit, and how silence can be dangerous. The flight scene itself is wild. At first, it feels like just another one of Fielder's elaborate pranks. He auditions actors by making them practice ordering drinks as if they were passengers. One guy has to rehearse the line, "I'm good, thanks," over and over. It's classic Fielder absurdity. But the big twist is that all of them are about to board an actual 737 flight, with Fielder himself as the pilot. And when told about the plan, most of them agree without hesitation. Because, well, actors will do almost anything for a role. And that's exactly what Nathan is counting on. The episode then flashes back 2 years to the beginning of Nathan's journey as a student pilot. He's upfront about how difficult it is for him. He's not a natural, and landing proves to be an especially tough challenge. There's even a montage of instructors having to take over the plane when he struggles with the landing approach. 7 months in and 120 hours later, and I still couldn't land the plane properly, he says. For someone like Nathan, who overanalyzes every detail, that kind of failure hits hard. But he keeps going. That's what makes this finale different from all the earlier antics. It's not about a punchline, it's about pushing through something deeply uncomfortable and scary. At one point, he shares how he used to practice being normal by copying how regular people moved on the street. He did this as a teenage magician to connect with others and appear more natural. That moment hits differently in this episode. It's a reminder that Nathan has always been rehearsing, not just scenes, but life itself. And maybe that's why he relates so strongly to people with autism, like the kids he brought to a fake airport earlier in the season. He's not trying to make fun of anyone. He's showing that even when communication is hard, and anxiety feels overwhelming, people can still overcome it. Slowly, awkwardly, and with tons of practice. There's a powerful scene where Nathan fills out an FAA health form to get his pilot license, and he's stuck on the question about anxiety. He hasn't been officially diagnosed, but he knows the feeling all too well, especially with the pressure of flying 150 people as, in his own words, the least experienced person licensed to fly a 737 in North America. He even goes so far as to get a brain scan to see if he has anxiety. But he never checks the results. In one of the most moving moments of the finale, he deletes the voicemail that contains the answer. It's not because he doesn't care, it's because he refuses to let a label limit what he can do. And he does it. He flies the plane. He lands it. nothing bad happens. All the rehearsing, the anxiety, the frustration, it pays off. And in true the rehearsal style, the big emotional climax is followed by the final round of a fake airport singing competition called Wings of Voice. A contestant belts out evanescences. Bring me to life. Inside the terminal, near a Brookstone store. It's hilarious and absurd, but also weirdly beautiful. Nathan watches silently, a real pilot now, standing in the shadows like some shy, reluctant hero. Even at the very end, the show stays true to its layered, strange self. Fielder starts working part-time for a company that moves empty 737s from one airport to another. He's talking about how strict the rules are for pilots. They only let the smartest and best people fly a plane of this size, he says. So if you're here, you must be fine. It's meant to reassure, but it's also ironic, because we've just spent 2 years watching how hard it was for him to get to that point. Still, he made it. And by doing so, he's delivered a quietly powerful message to anyone who's ever felt like they're not good enough or too broken to succeed. There are so many little moments that make the finale hit even harder. When a fellow student pilot and instructor die in a crash while Nathan is still in training, it deeply shakes him. You feel his fear. And when he jokes about bird nests on the plane, or asks his co-pilot nervously, "This lands like the simulator, right?" you realize how vulnerable he still is. But that's the beauty of it. He never pretends to be perfect. He just keeps rehearsing until he's ready to take control, no matter how terrifying that is. In the end, the rehearsal isn't really a comedy. It's a story about human weakness, vulnerability, and how we try to cover it all up with rehearsals, simulations, and scripts. But sometimes, the most honest thing you can do is admit you're scared, and still move forward anyway. Nathan Fielder turned a fake reality show into something very real. And in doing so, he reminded us all that even the most anxious, awkward, or unsure among us can fly a damn plane, if we rehearse hard enough.